So
Tips you need to know when purchasing a new home.
and it sounds very simple, right? And how to find the right home. But if you're a first time home buyer, you're not necessarily sure what goes into it, right? So outside of, hey, you gotta, before you start that house hunting, you gotta, know what your budget is and all that. We get that, right? We get that. But let's kind of dig into what are some factors that you need to think about or be considering, right, when you're choosing a home. And like anything with real estate, location, 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 right? And what I mean by that is, and maybe right now you don't have any children, but maybe that's in the plans, right? If you're a young married couple. So is it school district, right? Is it close to family? Is it, um, work, close to work? I talk to a lot of people now who are buying, and you want to know why? Because now, guess what? They've got to sell their home and relocate because they're being told they have to come into the office now. So commuting is now back to being a factor, right? And this is changing on how people look at things. But hey, do you want that family there for that built-in daycare? Schools, obviously, whether having them or not. And then the other thing too is, what are your must-have features, or what are some non-negotiables, right? Is it the number of bedrooms? Is it the number of baths, right? Maybe a 2-bedroom, 1-bath today makes sense, but if you're by yourself, but when you're trying to sell that down the road, what are the opportunities to grow into that unit? Or are we going to have a conversation and go, hey, listen, that's fine. We'll keep this as an investment property for you. And here's how we'll do that. See, at Mortgage Gumbo, that's what we do. We don't just order take. What are your goals? What are your plans? And we understand life happens, right? But we want to be prepared and help you being able to make that next decision. But is it the number of baths? Is it storage? Right? Do you want a garage? Do you want land? Because, you want to be able to drive a four-wheeler on it. You want to be able to, who knows, chill out in some trees. Maybe you want a pool, or have a community pool, or access to something. What are those non-negotiables? Is it a layout? Do you want it open? Do you not, you want the kitchen to be able to all be one because you plan on entertaining, depending, the type of career you've got. So when you're looking at it, and we talk about, how to find that right home, get yourself a list of what those non-negotiables are. And let your realtor know these things. There's no reason, if you have to have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, to go look at a house that is 3 bedrooms, 1.5. Now, maybe you're willing to go look at 4 and 2, but what are those non-negotiables? Now, which ones of those do you put a little asterisk by and tell your realtor, hey, these I'm okay with? Right? I want 3 bathrooms, but if it's 2.5, I could live with that. Okay, so keep that in mind. The other thing that you've got to make sure when you're trying to find that right house is, what type of home. And what I mean by that, Gumbo Nation, is there's a lot more houses out there than just a single family home, right? So is it a single family home that you want? Is it a condo? Is it a townhouse? A duplex? You're going to have income generating on one side. So we've got to know that. The other reason is your pre-approval versus pre-qualify we talk about. If we're working on a pre-approval on a $350,000 single-family home and you go find a condo that's that same price, but they've got condo dues of $300, $400, $500 a month, well, that could change things. That may change on whether you qualify. So that, again, is very important that we have that. And I know this is the part where we talk about Gumbo Nation all the time of, hey, the home buying process can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be if you work with a team and we walk you through this process. And these are the things we're discussing when we're getting you approved. And then lastly, hey, are you a new construction person? Are you a new versus old, right? Do you like that charm, that character, the creaking floors, the antique fireplaces, right? Those vintage fixtures, the crown molding that's got the designs in them. Or maybe that old home that's got, missing some of these features, but you want to restore that. Well, then we start talking about maybe renovating that home or doing a renovation, but then you got to understand, is the layout outdated? What is it going to cost us to fix that up? Or, hey, that new home, it's got all the modern stuff. It's green. It's got all these fancy things. right? And if you're building and taking advantage of our one-time closeout construction loans, well, guess what? Then maybe you're customizing all these things that you want.
1 minute.
So I want you to understand, Gumbo Nation, there's more than just going out and attacking the world. Let's have that good conversation so we could put that plan together because, like we talk about, knowing your options is the key here.